The common wisdom about Europe's fastest-growing economy is wrong. Here's the real secret. Welcome back to Future Proof. For years, the story has been the same. The path to prosperity in Europe is through open borders, multiculturalism, and ever greater integration. But while the continent's biggest players are grappling with sluggish growth, a cost of living crisis, and deep social divisions, one country has been quietly, consistently, and spectacularly outperforming them all: Poland. So, how did they do it? How did a nation once on the fringes of Europe become its star player? Well, the answer is a playbook that many in Brussels would rather you didn't see. Stick around because we're about to dissect the data-driven truth behind Poland's success. This is the essential briefing for anyone living in the UK or Europe, because the lessons from Poland's playbook might just be the key to future-proofing the entire continent. Alright, let's get the numbers on the table because they are nothing short of stunning. While the rest of Europe has been wrestling with what economists politely call economic headwinds, and what the rest of us call being skint, Poland has been on an absolute tear. Since joining the EU, Poland's GDP per capita has more than doubled. Even with the recent global shocks, the European Commission forecasts Poland's GDP to grow by 3.3% in 2025 and 3% in 2026, comfortably outpacing the EU average. And what about jobs? As of early 2025, Poland's unemployment rate was a tiny 3%, the second lowest in the entire European Union. The EU average? Nearly double that at 5.9%. Germany, the supposed economic powerhouse of Europe, has an unemployment rate that's consistently higher. This isn't just a post-COVID bounce back, it's a two-decade-long story of a nation getting its act together. Poland has become a high-growth, low-unemployment, modern economy. The question is why? The official story is that Poland's success is all down to EU funds and a smart workforce, and we'll get to that. But there's another, much more controversial factor at play, one that is almost the polar opposite of the path taken by Western Europe, and that's migration. Let's look at the data on asylum seekers. In 2024, Germany received around 237,000 first-time asylum applications, France and Spain over 159,000 each, the UK another 84,000. And Poland? Just 7,500. This isn't an accident. It's a deliberate, long-standing policy. Warsaw has consistently resisted EU-mandated migrant quotas and has maintained one of the strictest asylum and immigration policies in the bloc. But wait! I hear you cry, what about all the Ukrainian refugees? And that's a brilliant point. Poland took in millions of Ukrainians fleeing the war, a truly monumental effort, but, and this is the crucial part, this was a fundamentally different kind of migration. The Ukrainian refugees were overwhelmingly women and children from a neighboring culturally similar country. They were granted immediate rights to work, and they integrated into the Polish labor market at a staggering speed. A Deloitte study for the UNHCR found that Ukrainian refugees added a stunning 2.7% to Poland's GDP in 2024 alone. It was a demographic boost, not a drain. This policy can be summarized as a warm embrace for neighbors in need who share similar cultural and work ethics, and a very firm, thanks, but no thanks, to mass, uncontrolled migration from further afield. And whether you agree with it or not, the correlation with their economic success is hard to ignore. Now to be fair, Dinkum, it's not all about migration. Poland's playbook has a few other brilliant chapters that the rest of Europe could learn from. They've been incredibly smart with the EU funds they've received, pouring them into modernizing their infrastructure and creating a business-friendly environment. They have a highly educated and skilled workforce that, while no longer cheap, is still more cost-effective than in Western Europe, making it a magnet for foreign investment. Their strategic location at the heart of Europe has turned them into a logistics and manufacturing powerhouse, and they've avoided the kind of deindustrialization that has hollowed out so many other Western economies. They actually make stuff. But all of these factors are amplified by a stable and cohesive society, one that has, by and large, avoided the kind of social friction and integration challenges that are now costing countries like Germany and France billions every year in social welfare and security costs. This brings us to our big question for you. We've laid out the data on Poland's economic success and its migration policies. Do you believe there is a direct link between a country's migration policy and its economic performance? Or are the two completely separate issues? We want to hear your well-reasoned arguments in the comments below. So, what are the lessons from Poland's playbook for the rest of Europe? It's not as simple as just say no to all migrants, but it does suggest a few uncomfortable truths. Lesson 1. Control matters. The Polish experience suggests that the type and scale of migration are critical. A managed, controlled intake of migrants who are culturally proximate and can be quickly integrated into the economy is a net positive. A large, uncontrolled influx that overwhelms social services and creates parallel societies is a net negative. Lesson 2. Integration is not automatic. Western Europe has often operated on a build-it-and-they-will-come model, assuming that integration will just happen. Poland's approach, while less diverse, has inadvertently created a more cohesive society. The lesson is that if you choose a high immigration model, you must also be willing to invest massively in integration infrastructure, language training, community programs, and civic education from day one. Lesson 3. A nation's primary duty is to its own citizens. This is the most controversial point, but it's at the heart of the Polish government's stance. Their argument is that by prioritizing a stable society and a strong economy for their own citizens, they create a country that is ultimately more resilient and better able to help others in a controlled way, as seen with Ukraine. This is a direct challenge to the duty-to-the-world approach often seen in Western Europe. Poland's playbook is not a perfect solution. It raises tough questions about diversity and the nature of a modern nation-state. But in a world where the old European economic model is clearly faltering, it's a playbook that can no longer be ignored. The data shows that a focus on national interest, controlled migration, and social cohesion can be a powerful formula for economic success. And as the rest of Europe looks for a way out of its high-tax, low-growth, high-friction slump, they may find that the answers are not in Brussels or Berlin but right here in Warsaw. If you found this analysis valuable and you want us to keep digging into the uncomfortable truths that shape our future, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. Your support is what makes this channel possible. Want to go deeper? Join us on Patreon or become a YouTube member. Our patrons and YouTube members get early access to videos, their names in the credits, and exclusive PDF notes with supplementary data and insights for every topic we cover. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.